The average height of an NBA player is 6'7". It's not every day that we see somebody that height unless you're working in the basketball space. Any 7-footer in their 20s could probably walk inside an NBA arena and security would believe they play for the team. The perfect example of the 2015 draft. A 6'10" writer named Connor Toole put on a fitted suit, acted as he was going to be in the draft, walked out the streets, fooled everybody, partied out, even got with some biddies, returned back to work the next day. Way more believable than NBA players way below their average teammates' height. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Let's take a look at 6 NBA players who were stopped by security guards because they didn't look like real NBA players. Starting with the most recent, Peyton Pritchard of the Boston Celtics. Thank goodness it was in Vegas and not Boston. A fan favorite, proven role player, on his way sitting with the Boston coaches for the Celtics Summer League opener, but wasn't until the VP of Communications expressed for Pritchard that he was allowed to pass Drew, listed at 6'1", 195 pounds, can be seen as a regular young guy at your local party town. An absolute travesty of a decision by the security guard. At least the hiring process could probably test their NBA player knowledge when working these events. Pritchard, 2 seasons with Boston, played all 24 postseason games, over 15 minutes in each of his first 2 finals games, 6 baskets combined made against Golden State. Given the situation and the recent events of the Minnesota protesters who tried to get on the court before being sent down, and in the finals with the fake Klay Thompson lookalike guy getting all the way on the court for a while, Summer League not viewed as even close to an event that big. From the outside, Pritchard does not look like a typical NBA player. If he was 6'6" instead of 6'1", the Vegas incident likely would have never happened, but this is nothing new for the 24-year-old. Take a listen to this soundbite.
I don't know if I've been mistaken by anybody, but like when I walk into the gym sometimes I think, especially at Oregon, they would think that I was like a manager.
Given that Pritchard balled out the previous season, Summer League averaged 17 points, 8.5 assists. Summer League first team, the 2 security guards, Summer League employees. Pritchard also drew a lot of noise, being involved in the very controversial play holding Jimmy Butler's knee Game 3 of the conference finals. But looking forward, his team option picked up for the 23 season, afterwards 1 more year on his rookie deal before looking to earn big money summer 2024. Can this add more motivation to his on-court production? Jeremy Lin, stopped by security numerous times, the only Chinese American NBA player, even with the success of 2012 Linsanity, still foreign to arena workers. As recent as the 2019 playoffs, Lin already one of the more forgotten players on the 2019 Raptors title team since Bucks security. As for his pass to the team bus after Game 2, the team down 0-2, last thing any player wants is someone screaming at them. Guy screams and was like, "Where do you think you're going? What? Where's your pass?" Lin played exactly 3 minutes 23 seconds that night. An absolute travesty. Lin was stopped by security who works at NBA arenas, being one of the most recognized Asian American athletes on the planet, getting stopped in the state of Wisconsin, even with the Charlotte Hornets, when Lin played some of his very best basketball after Linsanity in 2015, heading to the arena for the first time as a player on that team, tried convincing security he's actually an NBA player. Back in September 2015, the security lady said, "What team?" A very not so warm welcome in the state of North Carolina for the first American player of Taiwanese descent. After helping Charlotte into having one of the best franchise seasons in 20 years during the 2016 campaign, Lin told ESPN just the other night in Brooklyn, "I was trying to leave Barclays Center and one of the ladies was like, 'Hey, I need your credentials for you to pass.' And then someone was like, 'Oh, he's a player, he's good.' I'm used to it by now, but it's just part of being Asian in the NBA. For security to work in a place like New York City at a basketball arena and not know who Jeremy Lin is, there should be multiple pictures of every player's face next to the security's desk so they can actually do their homework, at least have some knowledge on the players. From being on various outlets, a basketball sensation in 2012, to constantly dealing with not being recognized by arena workers, dealing with the extra toll since he looks totally different than every other NBA player in the league during his time at 6'3", former Chinese NBA players in the Yao Mings and Yijan Lians of the world, 7'6" and 7 feet, hundreds of other international players not in the NBA if they were 6'8" and up. A knowledgeable security staff probably would have believed they played on the team, and if Jeremy Lin was on the team, they'd probably be the first ones to stop him too. From tough challenging beginnings, sleeping on Landry Fields' couch, thinking the Knicks probably cut him, before Lin was a household name, he was constantly being mistaken as the Knicks team trainer by security guard during the pre-Linsanity days of the Knicks, but now seems like Jeremy's NBA days likely over. JJ Barea recently announced his retirement from the NBA. The Dallas Maverick fan favorite, despite playing for the franchise for 11 seasons, even in his 5th year, a security guard wouldn't let him in the arena one night since he looked like just an average guy with average height for normal society, didn't believe Barea actually played in the NBA, came to say hi to some friends and then try to go back in, and security didn't want to let him go back in. The other guard had to come and say he played tonight. There were some airport issues instances where security didn't believe Barea was an NBA player due to his lack of height. Despite a very few beating the odds making the NBA at under 6 foot, they still have to be questioned every now and then if they're not an all-star caliber player. Jimmer Fredette, one of the most forgotten lottery picks with tons of hype, being a college superstar, only 6 total seasons in the NBA, 241 total games, no playoffs, another classic lottery guy sent to an awful franchise with weak player development and never progressed. Here was Jimmer on the Dan Patrick Show back in 2016 about being questioned by security.
Security guard ever question that you play for a team?
Yeah, several times. I definitely have had that. Had it happen at All-Star Weekend. So
Jim, you look really young.
I know, I look young. I look just like a normal guy, like just a normal guy that's in the stands. So I was going to play in the All-Star game this weekend, and we didn't have any food, so I had to go to the snack bar to get some food, but we had to go outside of the locker room. So I went outside the locker room, and I didn't have my credential. So I came back in, and the security lady's like, "What are you doing? Why are you going back to the players?" I'm like, "I swear I'm a player." And then a guy came up, "Yeah, he's a player, I promise." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. Sorry, I know I look normal, but I am a player."
But just, you look like a normal person could walk down the street and nobody would know.
Yeah. And that's the great part about it. Most of the time people don't notice. I just walk right past and just kind of live my life normal.
Not being recognizable on the street, being a 6'2" white guy, reminds me of this classic story of John Stockton being part of the 1992 Barcelona Dream Team.
Fellow Americans, really not much different from Michael Jordan walking through here.
Must be tough for fans to easily look past you.
Hey guys, do you know any of those guys on there? What? Who? Who's that? That's your dad? Too bad he's not here. I do, yeah. We're making a point that nobody ever recognized you.
Next to your NBA-sized teammate when you look like a school teacher or an accountant. After being the D-League All-Star Game MVP, Fredette, a player who could drop 60 and 70 in China and every other league pretty much besides the NBA, a sniper on the court, seen like a Steph Curry anywhere outside the National Basketball Association. Even the average baller playing for recreational activities might not always know who Jimmer is until he finally starts playing.
Have you ever played a game of pickup where somebody didn't know who you were and then you just light them up?
Yeah, definitely. I've had that happen in pickup. That's always fun, to walk into a gym, and some people will know, some people won't. But then once you start playing, everyone's like, I swear I know this kid from somewhere. I swear I've seen this kid from somewhere.
The now 33-year-old, very unfortunate his NBA career didn't work out. Many teenagers today probably won't even recognize Fredette on the streets. But guys who were in college during his time at BYU, Jimmer Mania will always be legendary. Earl Boykins, being the second shortest player in NBA history at 5'5" at just over 130 pounds, his most impressive feat might be able to bench 3 plates. A very productive NBA career, especially with the mid-2000s Nuggets. Never drafted, played very hard every time stepping onto the court. 13 seasons in the league, 9 points a game, very solid. From having 2 D1 offers, the Eastern Michigan legend was always the shortest player on the court, became the shortest player in NBA history to score 30 or more points in a game, the life of a little man. If Boykins played in a league 5'8" or shorter, he'd easily be the Michael Jordan of that league. Always managed to give his opponent tough competition. Boykins one of the most unique players to ever play in the NBA. Hilariously, it's not only short NBA players who gets denied by security, even the most obvious looking NBA players, you don't even have to know anything about them. The average person would easily believe believe they ball in the league. In the middle of a playoff series 2016 Raptors-Cavs, when former Raptors All-Star DeMar DeRozan, yes, we're talking about DeMar DeRozan here, the best player on the Raptors, dropped 32 in a win after spending his night inside Air Canada Center and worked out, didn't exit the arena till 1 a.m., dedicated to his craft. 7 hours before his workout, a female security guard spotted him and stopped him, asked what he was doing, and went as far to ask if he worked at the arena. An utter disaster at 6'6", 220. Pretty sure his face and Raptors poster were everywhere in Canada as he walked onto the court where his smaller 6-foot teammate Kyle Lowry was waiting. Security called backup, assuming DeRozan might be a trespasser. An absolute travesty of a screw-up. The first time that ever happened to DeRozan. Just laughed about it, wasn't tripping. Security obviously wasn't a basketball fan, although she was simply doing her job. Either the league required players to wear credentials when they're not in uniform, or have every security be responsible knowing what all the 15 players look like that play in their arena. It's not too hard to remember all the faces, unlike the NFL where there's over 50 players on every roster. While the New York Knicks franchise has been a joke 90% of the time after the Patrick Ewing era, MSG security stopped Ewing in 2021 as head coach at Georgetown asked him for a pass. For the greatest player in franchise history to get questioned like that, to have his number 33 jersey up in the rafters, the 7-footer having a negative experience in a building he dominated for over a decade. He's not the only former Knick to run into some issues at MSG last couple years. While Summer League 2018 legendary Jerry West might be the logo and one of the most iconic figures in league history, but the 80-year-old executive asked by security to clear out the walkway while that security guard was wearing the NBA pin that is the logo and asking the logo to move double L's. This post I saw on Reddit, not 100% confirmed. An anonymous user by the name of It's Not the Bolt posted, Kevin McHale once pranked Rick Carlisle during warm-ups before tip-off by telling security guard that Carlisle was not a player and not supposed to be on the floor. Security then harassed Rick because he looks like a normal human being. White, 6'5", 210, a deep in the bench guy, little to no minutes, averaged 2.2 points for his career, 188 regular season games. Carlisle's just a random name at the time, pretty much a third stringer off the bench for Boston at the time before becoming a well-known coach. If anybody can fully confirm this story, drop it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Which one of these instances surprised you most? Any of these moments that made you furious? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe for more content. I love all of you. See you next time.